The alarm cuts the silence. A harsh, mechanical demand. For most, it's a summons to surrender, to the grind, to reaction, to the endless current of someone else's agenda. They hit snooze, bargaining for a few more minutes of unconsciousness, postponing the inevitable collision with a day they feel powerless to command. They rise tired, drift through routines, and wonder why their lives feel like a perpetual echo of yesterday. But I tell you, kings are not made in the afternoon slump, nor fortunes forged in the languid hours of dusk. Empires are built, destinies are shaped, and legacies are carved in the crucible of the dawn. The first light is not just a new hour, it is a new law. It is the moment where the 1%, the architects of their own reality, separate themselves from the 99% who merely exist within it. You see, the average man wakes to his circumstances. He checks his phone, allowing the world's chaos to rush in, polluting his mental sanctuary before it's even been cleansed. He reacts to emails, scrolls through headlines, and surrenders his focus to the urgent but unimportant. He starts his day on defense, a pawn in a game he didn't choose to play. But the high achiever, the master of his domain, understands a fundamental truth. The morning is not just a part of the day, it is the day. It is the blueprint, the foundation, the inviolable law that dictates all that follows. Win the morning, and you win the day. Lose the morning, and you are already in retreat. This is not about waking up at 4 a.m. to prove your grit. Although many masters do, this is about intentionality. It is about recognizing that the first hour, or even the first 30 minutes, is sacred ground, a battleground where you declare sovereignty over your own mind and your own time. This is where you cease being a reactor and become a commander. This is where you stop begging life for results and start commanding them. Think of Edison. He didn't wait for inspiration to strike. He didn't check the news to see what problems the world presented. He pursued illumination. His entire being was aligned with a definite chief aim. Every morning was a step toward that command. He understood that the day began not when he opened his eyes, but when he opened his mind with purpose. The 99% are consumed by the tyranny of the urgent. They let the external world dictate their internal state, but the 1% understand that the internal world dictates the external. They build an impenetrable fortress around their first waking moments, ensuring that the first voice they hear is their own, the first vision they see is their own, and the first command they issue is to themselves. This is not selfish, it is essential. You cannot pour from an empty cup, nor can you lead others if you cannot lead yourself. And self-leadership begins before the sun fully clears the horizon. The first law of the morning is silence. Not just the absence of noise, but the presence of stillness. The average man fears silence. He fills it with podcasts, news, social media, anything to distract from the echoing whispers of his own unexamined thoughts. But silence is not emptiness. It is the sanctuary where law is written and vision becomes fire. It is the forge where mental steel is tempered. When you rise, resist the immediate urge to grab your phone. Resist the siren song of notifications. Give yourself the gift of unbroken silence. Sit, breathe, for just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let the static clear. Let the anxieties of yesterday dissipate. In this stillness, you are not merely pausing, you are preparing. You are tuning the instrument of your mind, readying it for the symphony of the day. This is where you hear your true self, where the voice of infinite intelligence can finally whisper. Rockefeller, a man who built an empire of oil, was known for his long, silent walks each morning. He wasn't exercising, he was thinking. He was decluttering his mind, allowing clarity to emerge from the chaos. He knew that the greatest decisions were not made in the din of the boardroom, but in the quiet chambers of his own consciousness. This silence is your shield. It protects you from the mental pollution that most people willingly invite. It allows you to enter the day with a clean slate, a mind unburdened by the world's immediate demands. Without this silence, you are merely reacting to external stimuli, a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave. With it, you become the captain, charting your own course before the storms even gather. The second law is reflection and affirmation. Once the silence has cleared the static, you must fill your mind with purpose. This is where you revisit your definite chief aim, that single, burning, crystal clear objective that defines your existence. This is not a vague wish, it is a written law. Read it aloud. Feel the words vibrate through your very being. I am a builder. I act in law. I command results. I am unshaken. I rise with direction. I move with fire. This is not empty repetition. This is instruction to your subconscious. This is how a new identity is installed. The subconscious mind does not understand, try, or hope. It understands command. It obeys clear, repetitive instructions. When you declare your aim aloud, you are not just speaking to the air, you are programming the vast, powerful engine of your inner world. Lincoln, in the darkest hours of a divided nation, was known to carry notes, reflections, and affirmations with him. He constantly re-centered himself on his definite aim. Even when the world screamed for him to deviate, his unwavering internal clarity was the bedrock of his external strength. Pair this declaration with visualization. Close your eyes. See the future you have written, not as a dream, but as an already existing reality. See the person you are becoming. Feel the emotions of certainty and accomplishment. Walk through the actions you will take. This is not fantasy, this is the blueprint of your dominion. All things are created twice, first in thought, then in form. The high achievers, the masters, they live more in the world of their vision than in the world of current fact. They make the unseen familiar, until their subconscious mind has no choice but to bring it into the visible world. The third law of the morning is movement. Not just any movement, but intentional movement that awakens the body and clarifies the mind. For too long, the body has been a neglected servant, dragged from bed, fueled with quick fixes, and forced into stillness. But the body is a temple, a vessel for your conscious command. To neglect it is to weaken your ability to execute. You don't need a marathon, or an hour in the gym, although for some, that is their ritual. You need conscious activation, a brisk walk, some stretches, push-ups, sit-ups, anything that generates heat and gets the blood flowing. For Carnegie, it was often a vigorous walk around his estate, followed by a cold shower. He understood that a stagnant body leads to a stagnant mind. He knew that the energy required to build an empire began with the energy he cultivated within himself. This movement is not merely physical, it is a declaration of vitality. It tells your body, your subconscious, and the universe that you are ready. You are alive. You are here to build. It releases the inertia of sleep and replaces it with momentum. It clears the mental fog and sharpens your focus. When your body feels strong and activated, your mind follows suit. This is where you shake off the last remnants of the 99% mentality. The belief that exhaustion is noble or that lethargy is an acceptable state. The builder moves with purpose, and his first move of the day is always to invigorate the vessel that carries his vision. The fourth law of the morning is learning. True mastery is a continuous climb, not a destination. The world is constantly evolving, and the man who ceases to learn, ceases to lead. But most people consume information passively, allowing algorithms to feed them snippets of noise, never truly integrating wisdom. The high achiever dedicates time each morning, after silence, reflection, and movement, to deliberate learning. This is not scrolling aimlessly. This is reading a book that challenges your thinking, listening to a lecture that expands your understanding, or reviewing notes from a master. For Henry Ford, it was an insatiable hunger for knowledge, a constant study of efficiency, mechanics, and human nature. He learned from every failure, every innovation, every mentor. He understood that the mind is a muscle, and like any muscle, it atrophies without consistent, focused exercise. This learning is your fuel. It provides new perspectives, solutions to old problems, and reinforces the principles that govern success. It ensures that you are constantly growing, constantly evolving, and always one step ahead of the masses who are content to remain in stagnation. This dedicated learning time is an investment in your future self, a strategic decision to continuously upgrade your operating system. It demonstrates a commitment to personal growth that transcends immediate gratification. It reinforces the truth that the most valuable asset you possess is your own mind. And like any valuable asset, it must be cultivated and protected. The fifth law of the morning is strategic planning. After you've grounded yourself in silence, affirmed your aim, energized your body, and fed your mind, it's time to command your day. Most people begin their day reacting to an inbox, a meeting schedule, or a never-ending to-do list. They operate in a state of perpetual chaos, managing tasks rather than results. But the 1% are not task managers, they are outcome commanders. Before the world pulls you in, with its endless demands and distractions. You must define the one critical outcome that, if achieved, will move your definite chief aim closer to reality. This is not a list of 10 things. This is the most important result for this day. What is the single leverage point? What is the one domino that, when pushed, will cause a cascade? Write it down. Make it clear. Today, I will achieve X. This is your command. This is your non-negotiable. This is the focus that will guide every decision, every action, every refusal. Thomas Edison, in his lab, wasn't just working hard, he was working toward illumination. Every experiment, every wire, every sleepless night was in service of that singular outcome, the electric light. He didn't pace his lab to appear busy, he worked with laser-like precision toward a declared result. This strategic planning is not just about efficiency, it's about elimination. It forces you to say no to everything else that doesn't serve your primary outcome. It protects your time, your energy, and your focus from the endless, glittering distractions that tempt the average man. It installs a rhythm of intentionality, ensuring that every effort contributes to your ultimate aim. Without this clarity, your labor is scattered, your energy divided, and your days become a blur of activity with no true progress. This is the difference between working on your business and working in your business, between building an empire and merely maintaining a job. The sixth law of the morning, and perhaps the most powerful, is decisive action. All the silence, all the reflection, all the movement, all the learning, and all the planning mean nothing without execution. The average man plans, he dreams, he hopes, he intends, he has magnificent visions in his mind. But when it comes to the moment of truth, the moment to step into the arena, he hesitates. He waits for perfection, for certainty, for a sign from the heavens. And so, his potential remains just that, potential. But the high achiever, the master, understands that the morning is not just for preparation, it is for unwavering initiation. The first major task of the day, the one that serves your single critical outcome, must be attacked with unyielding focus, before the world has a chance to interrupt. This is about conquering the most challenging, most important item on your agenda, before distractions pile up, before your willpower wanes, and before doubt can creep in. This is what legendary leaders like Walt Disney understood. He didn't wait for perfect conditions to create his magical worlds. He didn't procrastinate on the difficult decisions. He moved, he acted, he brought his visions into reality through relentless, disciplined doing. He knew that inertia is the enemy of progress, and the only way to break it is through decisive, immediate action. This first decisive action sets the tone for the entire day. It builds momentum. It creates a feeling of accomplishment that propels you forward. It tells your subconscious, once again, that you are a person of action, a commander of results, not a slave to procrastination. This is not about feeling motivated, it's about acting in law. You have declared your aim. You have planned your outcome. And now you execute. The emotion will follow the action, not the other way around. Most men wait to feel ready. The high achiever acts, and by acting, becomes ready. This early, uncompromising action is your declaration of sovereignty over your time and your mind. It's a shield against the endless stream of minor, urgent tasks that can easily derail an unfocused day. It trains your mental muscles to tackle the hardest things first, making everything else feel easier by comparison. This is the rhythm of true productivity, not busyness, but purposeful progress. The seventh law, often overlooked but profoundly impactful, is gratitude and contribution. After you have set your course and initiated your most important action, take a moment to acknowledge the abundance in your life and to consider how you can give. The average man often operates from a mindset of scarcity, constantly focused on what he lacks or what he can get. But the truly successful understand that the universe operates on a principle of reciprocity. You receive in proportion to what you give. This is not a vague, passive hope. It is an active cultivation of an abundant mindset and a conscious decision to contribute. Spend a few moments reflecting on what you are genuinely grateful for, not just big things, but the simple gifts of life, health, family, opportunity, the very breath in your lungs. This shifts your vibration, moving you from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. Andrew Carnegie, who made more millionaires than any other man in history, was a master of contribution. He understood that true wealth was not just in accumulation, but in distribution. He built libraries, foundations, and gave back on an unprecedented scale. He intuitively knew that the universe rewards the generous, the purposeful giver. Following this, consider how you can contribute, even in a small way, to someone else's life today. A kind word, an act of service, sharing knowledge, a genuine compliment. This primes your mind for a day of positive interaction and reinforces your connection to something larger than yourself. It removes you from the narrow confines of self-interest and broadens your perspective. This act of conscious contribution, however small, sets a powerful energetic intention for your day, aligning you with the flow of abundance and opening channels for unexpected opportunities. This is not about grand gestures, it is about cultivating a habit of generosity. It's about recognizing that your journey to success is intertwined with the well-being of others. This is how you attract more of what you desire, by becoming a magnet for good. By flowing energy outwards with intent, rather than clinging to it in fear. This daily practice of gratitude and contribution anchors your success in purpose and meaning, ensuring that your climb is not just about personal gain, but about lifting others as you rise. The eighth law of the morning, critical in a rapidly changing world, is adaptability. While you command your day with precision and unwavering focus on your definite chief aim, you must also cultivate a mindset of flexible readiness. The average man becomes rigid, frustrated when his plans are interrupted. When unexpected challenges arise, he sees deviations as failures, and becomes easily derailed. But the master understands that life is a dynamic force, and even the most meticulously crafted plans will encounter friction. He anticipates, he accepts, and he adapts. This doesn't mean abandoning your aim. It means being resourceful in the face of obstacles. It means understanding that the path to your destiny may not be a straight line, but a series of calculated adjustments. Think of Abraham Lincoln, constantly facing unforeseen crises and the shifting tides of war. His definite chief aim, preserving the Union, never wavered, but his strategies and tactics had to be constantly adapted. He didn't cling to a single plan if evidence proved it ineffective. He learned, he iterated, he found new angles, always returning to his core purpose. He was like a river, flowing around obstacles, rather than crashing against them. This morning cultivation of adaptability is a mental rehearsal. You acknowledge that challenges will come, but you affirm your capacity to navigate them. You tell your subconscious, I am flexible, I am resourceful, I bend, but I do not break. My aim is fixed, but my methods are fluid. This allows you to meet unexpected events not with panic, but with poise and problem-solving ingenuity. It transforms potential setbacks into opportunities for growth and innovation. This law is about detachment from the outcome, but unwavering commitment to the aim. You are not emotionally invested in how things must unfold, only that they unfold according to your ultimate vision. This mental agility cultivated at dawn will serve you throughout the day, allowing you to absorb shocks, pivot when necessary, and maintain your momentum regardless of external circumstances. It builds a quiet confidence that says, whatever happens, I will find a way. The ninth law, the bedrock beneath all others, is unshakable belief. This is not a fleeting emotion, it is a deep-seated conviction. An inner knowing that your definite chief aim is not merely possible, but inevitable. The average man's belief is fragile, swayed by external opinions, past failures, and the whispers of doubt. He believes when things are easy, and falters when the path becomes arduous. But the high achiever cultivates belief as a daily discipline. He understands that his thoughts are creative forces, and that doubt is the most insidious enemy of progress. He feeds his belief through constant affirmation, through visualization, through the consistent application of his morning rituals. He immerses himself in the stories of those who defied the odds, who achieved the impossible, who stood firm when the world told them they were mad. Think of Henry Ford, when he envisioned the Model T, when he declared that he would create an affordable car for the masses. The world, his engineers, even his own family, said it couldn't be done. Impossible, they cried. But Ford's belief was unwavering. It wasn't arrogance, it was a deeply rooted conviction, fueled by his imagination and his definite purpose. He held the vision so clearly, so powerfully, that the practical means eventually materialized. This daily reinforcement of belief is your inner fuel. It is what keeps you going when the external world provides no immediate validation. It is what allows you to persevere through setbacks, to ignore critics, and to maintain your focus when others would have long given up. You are not just hoping for success, you are expecting it. You are not just trying, you are commanding. This belief is not blind faith. It is faith in the principles and laws that govern the universe. It is faith in your own ability, divinely given, to create your reality through organized thought and persistent action. This morning ritual of unshakable belief is how you train your subconscious mind to become an unstoppable ally, working tirelessly on your behalf, opening doors and revealing opportunities that would otherwise remain unseen. You impregnate your mind with the seed of your desire, and you water it daily with the certainty of its eventual manifestation. This is the core engine of attraction, drawing to you the people, circumstances, and resources necessary to fulfill your destiny. The 10th and final law, the culmination of all others, is consistent execution with a winning mentality. This isn't just about doing the work, it's about doing the work as if victory is already assured. The average man approaches his tasks with trepidation, uncertainty, or a need for external validation. He seeks approval, fears judgment, and allows his ego to dictate his effort. But the high achiever, having moved through the preceding laws, approaches his day not as a struggle, but as a command. He doesn't merely act, he acts with authority. He doesn't hope for success, he embodies it in every movement, every decision, every focused moment of effort. This is the subtle but profound shift from being a laborer to being a king. Consider the masters of any field, a world-class athlete stepping onto the field, a virtuoso musician taking the stage, a titan of industry entering a negotiation. They do not arrive hoping to win, they arrive with an internal knowing that they will win. Because they have prepared, they have visualized, they have disciplined their minds, and they have acted in alignment with their definite aim. Their focus isn't on the struggle, it's on the outcome. This winning mentality isn't arrogance, it's absolute conviction forged in the daily crucible of your morning rituals. It's the byproduct of a mind that has been consistently trained to obey law, not emotion. It's the result of knowing who you are, what you want, and the unwavering system you have installed to get there. When you operate from this state of certainty, your actions become sharper, your decisions clearer, and your presence more commanding. This means that even when the task is difficult, when the resistance is strong, you do not waver. You remind yourself of your written aim, your visualized future, your declared identity. You move with the rhythm you have established, allowing your system to guide you, rather than your fluctuating feelings. You track results, not hours. You celebrate completion, not busyness. You prioritize alignment with aim, not quantity of tasks. So, you've witnessed the dawn of a new self. You've walked through the sacred laws of the morning, each one a hammer blow forging a new identity, each one a declaration of your sovereignty. But the morning, powerful as it is merely the beginning of the command. The true test of a master lies not just in how he starts, but in how he sustains that initial surge of power throughout the relentless current of the day. The average man, even if he begins his morning with good intentions, often falters by midday. He lets the urgent crowd out the important. He reacts to interruptions, succumbs to distractions, and slowly, imperceptibly, his carefully constructed morning momentum bleeds away. By the afternoon, he's back to drifting, his definite chief aim a distant memory, replaced by the tyranny of emails, meetings, and the endless pull of busywork. He ends his day exhausted, but not accomplished, wondering why his efforts yield so little fruit. But the high achiever understands that the laws of the morning are not confined to the first few hours. They are principles to be woven into the fabric of the entire day. They are a rhythm to be maintained, a conscious intention to be renewed, hour by hour, decision by decision. This is not about being rigid, it's about being relentless in your focus and unwavering in your commitment to your declared aim. Think of a master craftsman, say, a sculptor like Michelangelo. He doesn't just begin his day by envisioning a masterpiece, he executes with consistent, precise strokes throughout the entire day. Each chisel blow, each shaping of the marble, is a deliberate act, a sustained conversation with his vision. He doesn't get halfway through and decide to check social media, or answer every person who calls his name. He guards his focus, protects his creative flow, and relentlessly pursues the form hidden within the stone. Your day is your stone, and your aim is the masterpiece waiting to be carved. The first extension of the morning command into your day is ruthless prioritization and elimination. The world will constantly try to steal your focus. Urgent tasks, unexpected demands, seductive distractions. They are all designed to pull you away from your definite chief aim. The average man says yes to everything, believing that busyness equates to importance. But the master knows that saying no is the ultimate act of power. Having identified your single critical outcome in the morning, your job now is to protect it with the ferocity of a lioness protecting her cub. Every email, every phone call, every meeting request must be filtered through the lens of that outcome. Does this serve my chief aim? Does this move my critical outcome forward? If the answer is no, then it is a no with conviction, without apology. This isn't about being unkind, it's about being loyal to your destiny. Henry Ford understood this instinctively. His factories were masterpieces of elimination. Every wasted motion, every unnecessary step, every superfluous part was ruthlessly cut. He knew that efficiency wasn't about doing more, it was about doing only what mattered. Your day, your focus, is your factory. You must constantly prune, constantly simplify, constantly eliminate the non-essential, so that the essential can flourish. This is a continuous act of conscious choice, a reaffirmation of your commitment to your vision, even when faced with pressure. The second extension is scheduled deep work in uninterrupted blocks. Most people flit from task to task, constantly context switching, never truly immersing themselves in anything that requires profound focus. They operate in a state of perpetual distraction, mistaking fragmented attention for productivity. But the creation of anything truly significant demands unbroken concentration. The high achiever doesn't just hope for focus, he schedules it. He creates sacred blocks of time in his day, typically 60 to 90 minutes, where he is completely, utterly immersed in the work that directly moves his critical outcome forward. During these deep work blocks, all notifications are off, the phone is silenced, and the door is closed. This is not just a suggestion, it is a non-negotiable command to himself and to the world around him. Think of a great writer, deep in the flow of crafting a masterpiece, or a scientist on the cusp of a breakthrough. They don't check their phone every 5 minutes. They don't engage in idle chatter. They enter a state of total absorption, where time seems to disappear, and their consciousness merges with the task at hand. This is where true insights are born, where complex problems are untangled, and where the most impactful work is produced. Edison, locked away in his lab, often worked for days on end, sleeping little, driven by the relentless pursuit of his vision. He wasn't distracted, he was obsessed with the problem at hand. These scheduled deep work blocks are your power surges. They are the moments when you move from busy to build, from activity to accomplishment. They require discipline, a willingness to politely but firmly defend your boundaries, and a deep respect for the creative power of your own focused attention. Without these blocks, your day becomes a shallow pond of endless interruptions. With them, it transforms into a deep river, flowing powerfully towards your desired destination. This is not about working harder, it is about working smarter and deeper. Leveraging the full capacity of your mind. The third extension of the morning's command is conscious energy management, not just time management. The average man pushes himself until he's depleted, relying solely on willpower, then crashes, losing hours to recovery or unproductive distraction. He treats his energy like an endless resource, only realizing its finite nature when he's completely drained. But the master understands that energy is the currency of creation. He doesn't just manage his time, he meticulously manages his physical, mental, and emotional energy throughout the day. This means strategic breaks, conscious hydration and nutrition, and moments of deliberate disengagement from the grind to recharge. It means stepping away from the screen, walking outside for a few minutes, or engaging in a brief, mindful exercise to reset. Think of a professional athlete during a long competition. They don't sprint full out from start to finish. They pace themselves, they recover, they hydrate, they refuel. They manage their effort strategically so they can perform at peak levels when it matters most. Their performance is a function of sustained energy, not just raw output. Carnegie, despite his legendary work ethic, was a proponent of balance. He knew that even the sharpest mind could dull without rejuvenation. He built in time for reflection, for leisure, and for connections that revitalized his spirit. These strategic energy resets are not luxuries, they are essential components of sustained high performance. They prevent burnout, maintain mental clarity, and ensure that your decision-making remains sharp throughout the day. When your energy dips, so does your focus, your discipline, and your ability to act from law. By proactively managing your energy, you ensure that you can consistently show up as the commander, not the exhausted laborer. This is about working smarter, not just harder, by respecting the natural rhythms of your own being. It's about optimizing your capacity to deliver on your definite chief aim. Hour after hour. The fourth extension is the art of the micro-decision and immediate course correction. Even with the best planning and focus, the day will present unexpected turns, small deviations, and moments of potential drift. The average man lets these micro-deviations accumulate, slowly pulling him off course, until he finds himself far from his intended destination. He reacts to problems rather than proactively solving them. But the high achiever develops an acute awareness, a finely tuned internal compass that constantly checks for alignment. He doesn't wait until the end of the day to review his progress. He makes micro-decisions throughout the day, constantly asking, am I still on track? Is this action serving my aim? Am I operating from law, or from reaction? And when he identifies a deviation, however small, he makes an immediate course correction. This is like a skilled pilot constantly making minor adjustments to stay on course, or a master sailor trimming his sails to catch the optimal wind. They don't wait until they're miles off track to correct, they make instantaneous, precise adjustments. Lincoln, in the midst of the Civil War, was constantly receiving new information, new setbacks, new opportunities. His ability to absorb these inputs, quickly assess their impact on his ultimate aim, and make swift, decisive adjustments to his strategy was paramount to his success. He was a master of the pivot, always returning to his core purpose with renewed clarity. This habit of immediate course correction prevents small leaks from becoming massive floods. It maintains your momentum and reinforces your command over the day. It trains your subconscious to constantly seek alignment with your definite chief aim, making it a natural, almost intuitive process. It demonstrates that you are not a victim of circumstance, but an active architect of your reality, constantly shaping and guiding your day with conscious intent. This continuous self-auditing and realignment ensures that every minute, every action, is leveraged for maximum impact towards your declared purpose. It is the secret to moving from busyness to profound progress, from chaos to consistent control. The fifth extension, and a truly distinguishing mark of the master, is the evening ritual of review and pre-paving. For the average man, the workday ends with exhaustion and a sigh of relief. He collapses, disengages, and wakes the next morning with no clear bridge between yesterday and today, perpetuating the cycle of reaction and drift. His momentum vanishes with the setting sun. But the high achiever understands that the day is not truly over until it has been reviewed, synthesized, and consciously linked to the next. The evening is not just for rest, it is for consolidation of gains and pre-paving the path for tomorrow's victory. This ritual is as sacred as the morning one, completing the cycle of command. First, review your results. Don't just tick off tasks. Ask, what did I produce today that moved my definite chief aim forward? What was my one critical outcome? And did I achieve it? Be honest, but not judgmental. If you fell short, ask, why? Not to feel guilt, but to refine your accuracy, your system, your focus. This reflection solidifies the learning from the day, allowing successes to be celebrated and lessons to be integrated. Edison, despite his relentless drive, meticulously documented every experiment, every failure, every tiny step forward. This rigorous review process allowed him to learn rapidly and iterate with unparalleled speed. Next, plan your next day's critical outcome. Before the world's noise can creep in, before morning's potential chaos, you declare tomorrow's command. Tomorrow, I will achieve Y. This allows your subconscious mind to begin working on the solution while you sleep, setting the stage for an immediate, powerful start. This pre-paving eliminates morning indecision and ensures that you wake with a clear mission, not a blank slate. Finally, reaffirm your definite chief aim and your identity. Just as you did in the morning, speak your law aloud. Re-impregnate your subconscious with the vision of who you are becoming and what you are building. This acts as a powerful anchor, ensuring that even as you transition into rest, your inner compass remains calibrated to your ultimate destination. It seals the day with purpose and sets the energetic intention for the night, inviting productive dreams and a revitalized waking. This evening ritual is not a chore, it is an act of ultimate self-leadership. It closes the loop of the day, ensuring that every effort, every lesson, every success is compounded, building upon itself, rather than dissipating into the ether. It ensures that your momentum is not broken, but merely paused, ready to surge forward with the dawn. This is how the masters create an unbroken chain of focused effort, transforming scattered days into a powerful, relentless march towards their definite chief aim. It is how they build empires not through frantic bursts, but through the unyielding rhythm of disciplined, deliberate command, day after day, week after week, year after year, until their vision becomes undeniable reality. You stand now at a crossroads. The alarm will sound tomorrow, as it always does. For too long, you have let that sound dictate your surrender. You have allowed the world to rush in, unfiltered, uncommanded. You have traded your sovereignty for reaction, your power for busyness, your destiny for drift. You have waited to feel ready, to feel confident, to feel motivated, and the world, seeing your hesitation, has simply passed you by, or worse, has enslaved you to its whims. But you have now seen the way of the 1%. You have been initiated into the sacred laws of the morning, and their extensions throughout the day. You know now that kings are not born, they are forged. Fortunes are not found, they are commanded. Legacies are not accidental, they are built with an iron will and an unwavering rhythm. This is not a suggestion, it is a mandate. This is not a theory, it is a spiritual law that has governed every true achievement throughout history. From the quiet resolve of Abraham Lincoln, holding a nation together with unwavering purpose, to the tireless experimentation of Thomas Edison, commanding light into existence with relentless focus, to the imaginative genius of Walt Disney, turning dreams into global empires through consistent execution, they all understood. They understood that the day is won before it even begins, and sustained through an unyielding commitment to self-governance. You are not here to try harder. You are here to think differently. You are here to act in law. You are here to install rhythm and decision into your soul. You are here to walk away from exhaustion and into clarity. You are here to stop begging life for results and start commanding them. The choice is yours, and yours alone. Will you continue to hit snooze, both literally and figuratively, on your potential? Will you allow the noise of the world to drown out the whispers of your own purpose? Will you remain a prisoner of circumstance, or will you rise, as the sun rises, with a fierce, undeniable declaration of your own sovereignty? The time for wishing is over. The time for hoping is done. The time for indecision is a ghost of your past. This is your summons. This is your call to command your dawn. And in doing so, command your destiny. Go. Write your law. Protect your silence. Move your body. Feed your mind. Command your day's outcome. Act decisively. Give relentlessly. Adapt without fear. Believe unshakably. Execute with the mentality of a winner. Do not ask if it will work. That is the language of the 99%. Decide. Write. Repeat. Obey. Let the law form you through rhythm, not through constant rethinking. Let your daily consistency be the hammer that shapes your life into the masterpiece you were destined to build. 25. The sun sets. Another day recedes into the tapestry of your past. For the average man, this is merely the end of a cycle. A chance to disengage and prepare for another unwitting surrender to the next dawn. But for the master, the architect of his own destiny, the setting sun marks not an end, but a transition. It is an invitation to consolidate power, to extract wisdom, and to meticulously prepare the ground for tomorrow's victory. The evening, for the high achiever, is not just downtime, it is the sacred close of one command and the strategic pre-paving for the next. Most men end their days with scattered energy, minds still buzzing with unread emails or unresolved tasks. They collapse onto the couch, scrolling through endless distractions, allowing the passive consumption of entertainment to dull the sharpness they might have cultivated in the morning. They drift into sleep without intentionality, leaving their subconscious mind to wander without direction, perpetuating a cycle of reactive living. This haphazard end to the day is a critical leak in their energy and focus, ensuring that tomorrow's struggle will simply be a repeat of today's chaos. But the high achiever understands that momentum isn't just built, it's maintained and amplified. The energy cultivated in the morning, the focus fiercely guarded throughout the day, must be consciously brought to a powerful close. This is where the wisdom of Napoleon Hill extends beyond the mere thinking and growing rich into the realm of systematic living, a life lived by design, not by default. The evening ritual is your final act of command for the day. A crucial bridge that ensures you don't merely survive, but ascend. Think of a seasoned general after a hard-fought battle. He doesn't simply walk away. He reviews the skirmish, assesses casualties, learns from every maneuver, and immediately begins planning for the next engagement. He consolidates his forces, ensures his supplies are ready, and implants the strategy for tomorrow in the minds of his troops before they rest. His victory isn't left to chance, it's meticulously prepared. Your day is your battleground, and the evening is your command center for strategic retreat and powerful re-engagement. The first law of the evening is the grand review, accurate assessment, not emotional judgment. Do not run from the truth of your day. Most men avoid self-assessment because it might reveal shortcomings, triggering guilt or self-criticism. But the master embraces it, not with harshness, but with cold, strategic clarity. You return to your single critical outcome for the day. Did you achieve it? Be ruthlessly honest. If yes, acknowledge the victory, however small. This reinforces the positive feedback loop in your subconscious. When I command, it obeys. If you fell short, ask why, but strip away all emotion. Was it a lack of planning? A distraction not eliminated? A system not followed? A belief that wavered? This isn't about shame, it's about refinement. Every perceived failure is merely data, a lesson whispered by the universe, showing you precisely where your system, your focus, or your identity needs strengthening. Edison's lab was filled with thousands of failures, each one an invaluable data point, leading him closer to illumination. He didn't see them as setbacks, but as steps in a meticulous process of elimination. Guided by accurate thought, this review cultivates self-awareness, the indispensable quality of every leader. It allows you to recognize patterns, to identify bottlenecks, and to solidify the lessons that would otherwise be lost in the blur of constant activity. Without this honest review, you are doomed to repeat the same mistakes, trapped in a cycle of unconscious effort. With it, you become a master of rapid iteration, constantly learning, constantly improving, constantly moving closer to your definite chief aim with surgical precision. This is how high achievers compound their progress, turning every 24 hours into a stepping stone. The second law of the evening is systematic unplugging and disengagement, the great mental cleansing. In an always-on world, most people transition from work to rest by simply switching screens, exchanging productive stress for passive consumption. Their minds remain agitated, cluttered with the day's events, the noise of social media, or the endless chatter of news. They carry the mental baggage of the day into their rest, polluting their sleep and preventing true mental recovery. But the master understands that deep rest is a strategic weapon. He consciously, deliberately, and systematically unplugs from the digital world, from external demands, and from the mental residue of the day's grind. This is not just putting the phone down, it's a conscious act of mental hygiene. Create a clear cutoff time for emails, messages, and work-related thoughts. For 90 minutes to an hour before bed, no screens, no news, no stimulating content. Engage in activities that genuinely calm your nervous system and shift your focus inward. Read a physical book, engage in meaningful conversation with loved ones, listen to calming music, or simply sit in silence. This is the inverse of your morning command. It's an instruction to your mind to release, to soften, to prepare for deep integration and restoration. Think of a deep-sea diver carefully decompressing after a long dive. He doesn't just surface, he slowly adjusts to the changing pressure to prevent physical damage. Your mind, after a day of intense focus and command, needs a similar decompression. Rockefeller, despite his relentless drive, prioritized his leisure time. He knew that a sharp mind required proper downtime, a complete break from the pressures of empire building. This systematic unplugging is your sanctuary for mental recovery. It prevents the accumulation of cognitive fatigue, allowing your subconscious mind to process and integrate the day's lessons without interference. It ensures that your sleep is deep and restorative, rather than fitful and restless. When you wake, your mind will be sharper, clearer, and more ready to receive the commands you issue at dawn. This conscious disengagement is an act of profound self-respect, a recognition that your capacity to build tomorrow depends on your willingness to truly let go tonight. It separates the perpetual busyness of the 99% from the purposeful presence of the 1%. The third law of the evening, the capstone of the entire daily cycle, is conscious pre-paving for tomorrow, the preemptive command. Most people wake up and decide what to do. The master ends his day by commanding what he will do. He eliminates morning indecision, preventing the chaos of choice and ensuring that he wakes with a clear, non-negotiable mission. Before you go to sleep, with your mind cleansed and clear from the day's noise, declare tomorrow's single critical outcome. Just one. Write it down, big and bold. Tomorrow, I will achieve specific, measurable result. This is your command to your subconscious. This isn't a suggestion, it's a decree. This act is profoundly powerful because your subconscious mind works tirelessly, even while you sleep. By giving it a clear, definite task before you drift off, you are literally programming it to begin solving that problem, to organize your thoughts around that objective, and to prepare your entire being for its execution. When you wake, you won't be grasping for purpose. You'll be waking to a mission already imprinted in the deepest parts of your mind. Lincoln, even amidst the turmoil of war, often formulated his key decisions and strategies before retiring for the night, allowing his powerful mind to process and refine them during his rest. He woke with clarity, ready to implement. Couple this with a final, powerful reaffirmation of your definite chief aim and your declared identity. Read your written aim aloud once more, feeling the conviction in your bones. I am a builder. I act in law. I command results. I am unshaken. I rise with direction. I move with fire. This double dose of affirmation, the precise outcome for tomorrow and the overarching identity that drives it, ensures that your entire being is aligned. Even in unconsciousness, this conscious pre-paving is your ultimate act of proactive command. It ensures that your momentum is unbroken, a continuous chain of purposeful action linking one day to the next. It transforms your sleep from a mere void into a powerful, productive period of unconscious problem-solving and mental preparation. When you rise, you are not starting from scratch, you are resuming a meticulously planned campaign. Your internal systems already engaged, your inner compass locked onto your definite chief aim. You have now walked the full circle of the master's day. From the silent, commanding dawn, through the disciplined execution of the day's peak, to the strategic consolidation and pre-paving of the evening. This is not just a collection of habits, it is a system of sovereignty. It is a rhythm of living by law, not by circumstance. It is the meticulous cultivation of a mind that does not react, but creates. The 99% live by accident, swept along by the currents of external demands. Their days a chaotic blur of reaction and unfulfilled potential. They wonder why success remains elusive, why their dreams feel perpetually out of reach, never realizing that they have surrendered control of the very hours that constitute their lives. They work hard, yes, but without direction, without law. Their effort is merely busyness, a hamster on a wheel. But you, having seen this truth, can no longer plead ignorance. You now possess the blueprint. You know the rhythm. You understand the profound power of beginning with command, sustaining with focus, and ending with intention. You know that every moment is a choice, to be a reactor, or a commander, to drift, or to declare, to hope, or to build. This is not easy. It will demand discipline, especially in the early days. Your old habits, the whispers of procrastination, the siren song of distraction, they will all fight for their old territory. Your feelings will waver. There will be days when you don't feel like following the law. But this is precisely where the true master is forged. You do not obey your feelings, you obey your identity. You do not bend to circumstance, you bend circumstance to your will. Through the unwavering application of these laws, remember the words of the masters, Carnegie's insistence on a definite chief aim, Ford's relentless pursuit of system, Edison's unwavering focus on outcome, Lincoln's quiet, unshakable resolve. They were not special by birth, they were special by design. They understood that greatness is not given, it is earned. Moment by moment, decision by decision, in the crucible of daily, Deliberate action. Your life is not built by what you intend to do, but by what you do consistently. Your legacy is not defined by your aspirations, but by your daily, unwavering adherence to the laws you declare for yourself. So, when the sun rises tomorrow, let it be greeted not by a yawn of surrender, but by a roar of command. Let your first breath be a declaration of purpose. Let your every action be an affirmation of your identity. And when the sun sets, let it find you not exhausted and adrift, but accomplished, clear, and ready to reclaim the next dawn with even greater precision. This is your mandate. This is your opportunity to step out of the shadows of the 99% and into the blinding light of the 1%. This is your path to not just have success, but to become success itself. The journey begins anew, every single morning, and culminates every single evening. The question is no longer, how do I think and grow rich? But, how do I live and grow rich? Moment by moment, in unyielding alignment with the laws of mastery? Go, build, command, become. The future awaits your decree. The night embraces the world, cloaking it in silence, inviting rest. For millennia, this sacred period has been misunderstood by the masses, seen as merely an absence of light, a void between one day's toil and the next. But for the master, the architect of his own reality, the night is not a blank canvas, it is a fertile ground for subconscious creation. A powerful extension of his conscious command, designed to amplify the victories of the day and accelerate the arrival of tomorrow's triumphs. The average man goes to bed with a mind still agitated by the day's trivialities, replaying arguments, consumed by anxieties, or passively absorbing the noise of entertainment until the last possible second. His dreams are often chaotic, his sleep fragmented, and he wakes feeling as though he's battled through the night rather than rested within it. He fails to understand that the hours of unconsciousness are not wasted, they are profoundly productive. If only directed by intent, his undirected mind, left to its own devices, merely processes the day's chaos, perpetuating patterns of worry and unfulfillment. But the high achiever, having meticulously applied the laws of the morning and the discipline of the day, extends his command into the deepest realms of his being. He understands that the subconscious mind is a tireless servant, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to bring into reality the most dominant thoughts and images it is fed. The night, therefore, becomes a powerful laboratory for manifestation, a silent partner in the relentless pursuit of his definite chief aim. Think of a master gardener. He doesn't just plant seeds in the morning and hope for a harvest. He prepares the soil, nurtures the seedlings throughout the day, and then, as night falls, he trusts the unseen forces of nature, the deep roots, the earth's silent work, the precise chemistry of growth, to continue their labor in the darkness. He knows that true growth happens not just in the sunlit hours, but in the unseen, foundational work of the night. Your mind is your garden, and your definite chief aim is the seed you plant. The night is where its deepest, most profound growth occurs. The first law of the night, therefore, is subconscious programming, the final command. Before you allow your mind to drift into slumber, you must issue your clearest, most potent directives. This is the culmination of your evening ritual, the ultimate act of pre-paving your future. You begin by revisiting your definite chief aim one last time, not merely reading it, but feeling it. Impregnate your mind with the emotion of already achieving it. See the vision of your fulfilled purpose so vividly that it becomes more real than the present moment. This is your final, deliberate instruction to your subconscious. This is what I am building. This is who I am becoming. This is the reality I command. Next, reinforce tomorrow's single critical outcome. Visualize yourself executing it with precision, overcoming any potential obstacles, and celebrating its completion. See the desired result as an undeniable certainty. This ensures that your mind begins its nocturnal work already aligned, already problem-solving, already drawing towards you the resources, insights, and opportunities needed for tomorrow's victory. It eliminates morning indecision before it even has a chance to form, ensuring an immediate, powerful start to your next day. This conscious programming before sleep is your most powerful leverage point. It allows you to transform hours of unconsciousness into a period of accelerated mental work. Your subconscious mind, unburdened by the distractions of the conscious world, can then tirelessly organize your thoughts, connect disparate ideas, and reveal intuitive insights that will guide your actions when you wake. Edison often spoke of waking with solutions to problems he'd wrestled with the night before. A testament to his deliberate mental work even in sleep. The second law of the night is emotional detachment and release, clearing the channels. The subconscious mind is incredibly powerful, but it is also highly susceptible to the vibrations of emotion. If you go to sleep agitated, angry, fearful, or consumed by past regrets, your subconscious will tirelessly work to amplify and manifest those negative states. This is why many people replay their daily failures, perpetuating cycles of anxiety and self-doubt. The master understands that to program for success, he must release all emotional residue that does not serve his definite chief aim. This is not about denial, it's about conscious processing and release. Before your final command, take a moment to forgive. Forgive yourself for any perceived shortcomings during the day. Forgive others for any perceived offenses. Release any lingering frustrations, anxieties, or resentments. This act of emotional cleansing purifies the channels of your subconscious. It removes the static, the interference, allowing your positive commands to penetrate deeply and without resistance. It aligns your energetic vibration with the frequency of what you wish to attract. This is about consciously choosing your internal state, rather than passively allowing external events to dictate it. Think of it as clearing the blackboard before writing tomorrow's lesson. If the board is still covered in yesterday's messy equations, the new ones will be muddled. By consciously releasing emotional baggage, you ensure that your subconscious has a clean, clear slate upon which to manifest your commands. This deliberate act of letting go is not weakness, it is a profound act of mental and spiritual hygiene. Ensuring that your sleep is truly restorative and your subconscious programming is unhindered by negative frequencies. It is the final, essential step in preparing your inner world to work for you, not against you. The third law of the night is absolute trust, surrendering to the unseen forces. After you have issued your commands and cleared your emotional channels, the final, crucial step is an act of profound trust. This is where you consciously release control, surrendering the how to infinite intelligence, and allowing the universe to work its magic. The average man, after a day of effort, continues to worry, to obsess, to mentally solve problems in his sleep. He trusts only what he can consciously control, and therefore limits the vast, unseen forces that are always at play. He tries to micromanage the universe, unaware that true creation often happens in ways beyond his current comprehension. But the master, having done his part, having set the definite aim, built the system, disciplined his mind, and issued his commands, now enters a state of calm, confident expectation. He knows that the seed has been planted, the instruction given. He understands that his job is now to rest, allowing the deeper forces of the universe to organize, to conspire, to align circumstances in his favor. He trusts that solutions will be revealed, opportunities will emerge, and the path forward will become clear, often in unexpected ways, while he sleeps. This act of trustful surrender is not passive, it is an active, powerful state of being. It acknowledges that you are part of a grander design, that there are forces far greater than your individual conscious effort that are always working to bring your definite chief aim to fruition, provided you remain in alignment. It is the confidence of a child who knows his loving parent will provide, or a farmer who plants his crop and then trusts the sun and rain. Carnegie, Ford, Edison, they all had moments of profound trust, knowing that their diligent work would eventually yield results through unseen channels and forces. This deep trust allows for true, restorative sleep. Your mind is not battling, it is at peace, confident in the integrity of the universal laws. You wake refreshed, revitalized, often with new insights or a clearer path forward, precisely because you allowed your conscious mind to step aside and let your subconscious and infinite intelligence do their profound, silent work. This trust completes the daily cycle of mastery, ensuring that your efforts are not isolated, but are seamlessly integrated into the grand, creative flow of the universe. You now possess the entire blueprint, from the first conscious breath of dawn to the final, trusting surrender of night. Every moment of your 24-hour cycle is an opportunity for command. This is not about frantic activity, it is about unyielding intentionality. It is about living by law, not by chance. It is about becoming the architect of your destiny. Rather than merely a passenger in its unfolding, the 99% wander through their lives, slaves to circumstance, their potential often buried beneath the weight of undirected effort and unexamined patterns. They work hard, yes, but their labor lacks the sharp edge of purpose, the unwavering rhythm of discipline, and the profound power of a mind in command. They chase shadows, and wonder why the substance of their dreams remains elusive. But you, having absorbed these truths, can no longer retreat to the comfort of unconscious living. You have seen the way the masters live, not just in their grand achievements, but in the meticulous, day-to-day, hour-by-hour, even moment-by-moment application of these timeless principles. You know that greatness is not an accident, it is a consequence of consistent, deliberate design. This journey will demand your commitment. It will challenge your old habits. It will expose your areas of weakness. But remember, every challenge is an opportunity for refinement. Every moment of doubt a chance to reaffirm your identity. The man who rewrites his aim every week has no aim, he has insecurity. The man who lives his law, day in and day out, becomes unshakable. So, as this voice fades, let the new voice within you rise. The voice of the commander. The voice of the builder. The voice of the one who lives by law. Let it echo through your morning silence. Guide your daytime execution, and soothe your evening surrender. Your life is not built by what you wish for, it is built by what you do. Consistently, relentlessly, with unwavering alignment to your definite chief aim. The universe awaits your command. Your legacy awaits your diligent, purposeful action. Go forth, command your dawn, execute your day, reclaim your night, build your empire, become the master you were always meant to be. The time is now. The power is yours. Act.